taking my time to study countries and nations of the world. And one thing I discover about countries and reason why they move from underdeveloped societies, third world countries, second world countries to first world countries is leadership. Leadership is very important in the growth of any and every nation. For a nation to grow, the leaders must be futuristic. They have to be visionaries. They have to put the future of the country into perspective. They are less concerned about today. They are basically concerned about yesterday and tomorrow, the past and the future. And do you know why? The reason why they are where they are today in the present is because of the actions of their leaders in the past. So I look at Nigeria, two things are absent. Number one, nationalism. There is no sense of nationalism at all. There is no rallying point. And the number two, leaders that are intellectually barren, intellectually empty. No intellectualism in our leadership. And when I talk about leadership, I am talking about key leadership, the president, governors. And even when you look at the leader, oh, you feel like this man is an intellectual. He should do something that proves his intellectualism. At the end of it all, you will see that nothing comes out of their state, nothing comes out of the country. It is appalling. Sometimes it makes you feel why they do come from that kind of environment. There are things that Nigerians are going through in different countries today that they shouldn't go through if there are good leaders. Okay, go to Singapore shortly after their, after colonial time. Even China after colonialism. Let's say from 1960 to date. From 1960 to date. Because 90% of countries on earth they got their independence from 1960, 50, 60. That is when many countries got their independence. 1950, 19, okay, let's say 1940, 1950, 1960. 1940, 1950, 1960, 1970. That is, we did this, you know, uh, 1940 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. Within this space of 20 years, that is when many countries got their independence. Now, go to these countries and look. If any country is advancing, it can't advance beyond the intellectual advancement of the leaders, the political leaders, the political class. It doesn't take everybody for a society, a system, or a country to move forward. It takes one man, one leader with a vision. That is all it takes. That is all it takes for any country to advance, for any society to move from where it is to where it's supposed to be, economically, socially, culturally, politically, in all ramifications, academically. It takes just a man with a vision, a man with a vision, a man with a vision. That is all it takes. But from 1960 to date, I have not seen a leader that rose from Nigeria with that nationalistic vigor. Let me move society. Let me create a 10-year master plan, 40 years master plan, this master plan. The only vision, 20 this, 20 that, 30 this, that, and nothing comes out of those visions. Nothing comes. The more they say vision 2030 vision, that is how the society sinks. And my question is, are our leaders intellectual? The leaders that we have, where are the books they have written? Where are the books they have written? Where are the books? There was a day I was going through the internet, and something struck me. And I saw a book written by Donald Trump, The Art of the Deal, something like that. I can't remember the title, The Art of the Deal. And I just Googled, I say, books written by Donald Trump. The man has more than 20 books. So we talk about Barack Obama, the books he has written on leadership. What's that title of that book that he wrote? Several books, several intellectual properties, essays, articles published in different journals and magazines, different. Show me one Nigerian leader that has 5 books published, 5 books, one Nigerian president, apart from people like Azikwe, Nandi Azikwe, Awolowo, that were highly intellectual. But these were people that were intellectuals. How comes that trajectory of intellectualism did not continue to date? How comes we have generation of leaders that had no certificate, no primary school certificate? How comes that our country, for you to be a leader in our country, it requires you to only have a primary school living certificate? Can Dangote place a primary school holder as a top manager in his investment in his company? That's the problem. I believe that where intellectuals with vision for their society are leading, that country will surely advance. Look at China. The man ruling, or should I really not leading China, is an intellectual. Go to Russia. Vladimir Putin, very sound, intellectual, philosophical, political. If the man is talking here, you will know that this man is well read. Go to US. Whatever you have against Donald Trump, never you think that the man is not intellectually sound, highly intellectual, intellectually developed. But ours is a country where the leaders, you don't know their intellectual metamorphosis. You don't know where this. You can't. Apart from few, for me, from 2000 or from 1999 to date, the best leader that Nigeria has produced is former President General Olusegun Obasanjo. Is the best. From 1999 to date, the best. Why is it so? Obasanjo is highly intellectual. He has written many books. I think one of his books is In My Command. He written many essays, many letters, open letters. It takes a man who is intellectually sound to write these letters, to write these books. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has his presidential library. I don't know of other presidents whether they have their own presidential libraries, but Obasanjo has his own presidential library. Very sound general. After him, Yaradua, I can attest to his intellectual stamina. I can't. Goodluck Jonathan was a PhD holder. I have never read any book written by Goodluck Jonathan. I have never read any political theory, political vision, any casting, vision for the future. I have never seen anything like that. Then come down to Buhari. Then the one that is there now. No, I can't say anything about where they came from intellectually. So this thing must be placed in perspective. The country is something else. People are mocking us, whereas it shouldn't be so. Nigeria has produced great men, but one of our albatross, one of our burdens is visionless leadership. It's a big burden. Because you see people, sometimes you see governors speaking, talking on television. You don't even know where to put your face. You don't even know how to react. You don't you it is appalling, it is shameful, it is disgraceful, it is disdainful that this person speaking of on television is a leader in my country. It's appalling, shameful, but that is where we are as a country, as a nation. That is where we are, and I don't have any solution to the problem. But I think there is need to go back to the drawing board, if there is even a drawing board.